have no clue. Okay, let me put this. No, delete. Oh crap. He probably sees that I'm texting him and I don't know what to say. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Fairy Dust TV. I'm your host, Jen Burton, romantic fairy godmama for smart, successful, single women around the world. Today's topic, should I text him? Or better yet, should you text him? I get it. I really get it. I understand firsthand the frustration that comes with trying to figure out that new guy, or maybe the guy you've been talking to for quite a while via text. And texting has become such a popular form of communication. It's easy. It's a way to check in. It's a way to arrange. It's a way to do so many things. But at the same time, it is also a place where miscommunication, misunderstandings, and a lot of problems can arise. So I completely understand why women are even asking themselves, should I text him? And today, we're going to talk about that. Now, before I get started, I remember back in the day when I first started teaching what I'm teaching now, being with my girls being over at my house, we're sitting on the porch, and that was the most popular question I ever got is, what do I say to him, Jen? He said this, what do I say back to him? Should I text him right now? Should I not? Am I texting too much? Am I texting too little? Am I sending the right response? And it could drive you a little bonkers. Now I could, because I'm gonna fully admit that I am really good at helping women create creative responses to texting and creative responses to men in many different places via social media, via online dating, all those different places. I fully admit I'm really good at helping women do that and helping them come up with those responses. But before you can even get to that creative part, you need specific guidelines to texting that will help you decide whether or not you should even be texting. Okay? And then from there, you can decide what to text. So today, we're going to start with the foundation, my guidelines for texting that I use in my dating experiences and that I help other women from around the world use in their dating experiences. So guideline number 1 is to let a man initiate most of the texting conversations. And I know your first question is, but why? Okay, so this isn't just texting conversations, and I'm not talking about conversations in person, by the way. I'm talking about conversations via any means where a guy that you're dating is reaching out to communicate with you. And the truth is that by now you should know that men are wired to pursue. It doesn't mean that we can't be bold and state that we want a guy or let him know our interests, but men are wired to pursue. So if he is reaching out to you more, he is solidifying little by little, by being the one reaching out to you more, he's solidifying his interest in you. And that's how he builds more interest in you day by day. So even to this day, my husband, I used to let him contact me the most. It's not like I never contacted him, but I used to let him contact me the most, and he still does that to this day. And I can't tell you how nice it is to not be the one in the relationship that's, hey, where are you? What are you doing? How is this? Blah, blah, blah. He reaches out to me. He communicates with me. He checks in with me, and it feels so good. Now, it doesn't mean that the vice versa never happens, but it feels good as a woman to have him still, after all these years, pursuing me like that. It feels wonderful. The second guideline I want to give you is that texting is a place for fun, playful, and informative. It is not a place for accusing and arguing. Too many women have used texting as an opportunity to interrogate men, to have fights, to everything. And we don't feel safe in this place that's supposed to be fun. Texting is a place of communication that's supposed to add to your relationship and not take away from it. And I'm going to give you an example. My husband and I have maybe said 5 words that weren't very nice to each other over a history of 10 years together via text. So that way, when I look at my phone, when I look at when he looks at his phone and he sees my name pop up, or when I see his name pop up, there's no fear that's already been established on what's next. It's only on what might be there. It's always, oh, I got a text from my wife, or I got a text from my husband, and we're excited to see those texts because it's not about crappy things going on. It is a place to have fun, to be playful, or to exchange information that we need in regards to our lives and our family. Period. Okay? So, guideline number 2 is texting is not for arguing. Texting's not for accusations. Texting is a place for good things to happen. Guideline number 3, lover girl, is I want you more often to not to be the one to leave the conversation first. Why? Well, there is nothing sexy about being the girl who's always there last, who's waiting. I call this the last call girl, not last call girl, but the last call girl. Now, why do I call this the last call girl? It's because it's like the woman at the bar who is waiting around to finally get picked by the end of the night. She's not there to just, she's there to see, like, is finally somebody going to pick me? And then finally the guy who's just a little bit drunk or tipsy is like, okay, yeah, you, hey, you, I'll talk to you. Maybe you and I can go and hook up. If you're always the last one to leave the conversation, or the last one to leave and be the last call girl, that's the kind of energy that you are setting up. You're not giving him much to look forward to, and you're also saying to him that you have no life outside of his texting conversations with you, which we know is not the case. I work with smart professional women around the world. You ladies are fascinating. You have full schedules. You have interesting things going on in your life. You don't have time to spend hours on end every day focusing just on him. You have much better things in your life to do. Plus, that doesn't make you very interesting to a man long term. It kind of short circuits that pursuing thing that we were talking about earlier. So again, guideline number 3, more often than not, I want you to be the one to leave the conversation first. And number 4, and this is the big one, this is the big deciding factor when you decide, should I text him? And that is, are you comfortable with what you're sending him? Meaning, it's not if you're comfortable with what you're sending him, it's more, are you comfortable with his response to what you're sending him? So if you're ready to tell him, I love you via text, but you're gonna lose your shit if he doesn't respond, or if he tells you, I'm sorry, I don't want to, I'm not there yet, then you shouldn't be sending that quite yet. You need to be in a place where, you're comfortable with whatever his response is. So for instance, when I was first dating my husband, it took us a while to get that kind of closeness. It wasn't like I was able to right from the beginning tell him everything I was feeling. And I remember the first really vulnerable text I sent him, requesting that he come see me. And because I'd had a really, really crappy day. Now, this was after about 3 months of dating. And I did it in a fun, playful way. And yes, I was being very vulnerable, but I also knew I wasn't going to be devastated. I only sent the text messages because I knew I wasn't going to be devastated if he didn't respond the way I wanted him to. So that means, lover girl, any text you send, you have to be okay with whatever his response is. You may not like it, but you have to be okay with it, meaning you don't have to lose your crap over it or shut him out of your life completely and hate him forever because he didn't respond perfectly to it. So there you go. 4 guidelines for whether or not you should text him. Answering those questions. Am I texting him too much? Am I texting him too little? Remember, okay, for that, texting him too much means if you're texting him more than he's texting you, yes, that's texting him too much. If you're texting him too little, means, some of us don't like texting that much, so we'll not convey any interest in a man, and a man needs to know that you're interested as well. We're not trying to play hard to get here. So what you can do, if you're not a big texter, just a little side note, feel free to say, hey, I'm not really much of a texter. If you'd like to talk, we can talk on the phone this evening around this time. Let me know if that works for you. And and if I'm sending the right response. That goes in straight into the guideline number 4 that we were talking to. The right response is the one that you are completely comfortable with sending, and you're not going to have an total meltdown if he doesn't respond the way that you want him to. Okay, lover girl, I know you can do this. You can have fun texting. You can enjoy texting. You can make it a great addition to your romantic relationships instead of a hindrance. I'll see you on the next episode of Fairy Dust TV.